Hey everybody, Thomas Vanderkin here from the Vanderkinverse. I'm super excited today. I've got Matt Bell with me. He's the systems integrator and IT emerging platforms with the new T-Mobile.
Hello, Thomas. How you doing?
Hey Matt, thanks for joining us today. Super excited to have you on this new show. We're doing a topic that I think is really exciting. I think we have a lot to learn about 5G. It's the buzz, it's everywhere, but I think everybody's asking the question, what's cool about 5G? So I'll ask you that. Tell us a little bit about yourself and then what's cool about 5G.
Well, so I'm a technology guy at the former Sprint and now T-Mobile, and part of my job has always been looking at new technology, new devices that come in to be used by the employees to support our infrastructure. And
Okay.
so I was around when the 3G came around and we were able to do embedded modems in our laptops and people could be anywhere and do their work. We went next to 4G, of course, and LTE, and we've all seen those. And I'm really excited about the 5G modems that would be built into the next devices, laptops, tablets. We're starting to see some of that stuff trickle out, and I'm really excited to see what that's going to do to productivity, especially today, everywhere.
Yeah. Is it happening yet, or is it we're just preparing for it, or when's it really going to start to impact our lives, you think?
Well, I went to CES this year for the first time and got to see from all the vendors and all the companies the devices they're planning to come out with. And I know that a couple of the big vendors are coming out with 5G embedded devices in their laptops. And I haven't seen any physically yet. I know they're supposed to come like mid-year, maybe a little later in the year. But with embedded 5G and from all the carriers, it should be great.
So yeah, I was at CES too, and I saw it seems like there's two different ways to me that 5G are going to impact our lives. One is kind of a sub-6 5G, if I understand that right, which really gives a broad coverage. And then there's kind of a millimeter wave 5G, right, that gives us really high speeds. Are you following that, or any thoughts about those two different ways of looking at 5G?
Yeah, what I have seen and what I have heard from everyone else that uses the 5G and tests it, that there's millimeter wave, which is the ultra high band frequencies, that's for more outdoor and super dense areas, urban areas. The mid band 5G is what Sprint had rolled out, and it works pretty much everywhere. It's a little bit lower, slower speed, but better coverage and much more field coverage. And then the best is the 600 megahertz, which is what T-Mobile had deployed and is deploying a 5G nationwide. Now, the new Sprint T-Mobile will do all three bands. So you'll be able to do all three, on one device.
Okay, yeah, I think I've seen a pyramid like that where it describes kind of sub-6 is really country level, the mid-tier, which is really kind of metro level, and then the millimeter wave, which is really focused to a kind of almost a building levels, but super high speeds.
Right. The 600 megahertz is what penetrates buildings, gets into basements, gets into closets, gets into everywhere, which is like the older frequencies back in the day where you didn't have to worry about not having a connection inside. So that speed and that penetration and building coverage is going to make a constant connection. And then when you get outdoors or when you're mobile, you're going to be at such a super fast speed and be able to switch between the mid and the high millimeter wave.
Got it. Well, I'm really looking forward to it. Anything else you're working on before we finish up here you want to tell us about?
Well, I know that they've announced recently, and I've got to see it myself on the new Samsung S20 Series. That'll be one that will handle all three bands. We'll be able to connect everything here soon from Sprint customers, but former Sprint customers. But I'm looking forward to getting the new hardware in and getting to test it real world. Now that we're at home, we're all mobile. We're dealing with everything today and the COVID-19 situation. So I want the best speed and I want the best connection now.
Yeah, well, it looks like you got quite a lab set up there in the background already with equipment in it. We're all a little jealous of your setup back there, I think. So I got a whiteboard.
Yeah.
All right. thanks for joining us, Matt. I think that's really interesting. We'll check in again in a little while and see how things are changing and how it's rolling out. But again, I appreciate your time. Thanks for joining.
All right, I appreciate it. Thanks again.